So, hey, we're here with Walter Contreras, the CEO, founder, owner of two really amazing companies. One being Motiva, which is a managed service provider, and the other, which is truly exciting and innovative, is Binox, which is a technology that is delivering leads to businesses in an amazing way using IT and lead generation and combining them together. We're a client of theirs. We love doing everything that using the products that Walter and his team have delivered. And really what their deliverable is, in my mind as a business owner, is they're delivering to me money, efficiency, and peace of mind. And peace of mind has a lot of different meanings. So Walter, I want to thank you for being here with me today, and thanks for coming on and spending a few minutes with us and answering some of our questions.
Thank you for having me. I am super pumped about this.
Cool.
The stuff
Cool.
I like to talk about.
Good. And I just want to comment, I love your background. It is beautiful.
Oh, thanks, man.
It is really nice, and it's
Yeah,
custom.
one of these old Mac computers from back in the 80s.
It's beautiful. Look at where we've come. Now we're recording Zoom conference calls from across the world. So it's truly amazing. So Walter, I just kind of want to jump into it a little bit here, and I just want to get your overall assessment of the business climate as you see it today, talking to your clients and prospects.
Thanks, buddy. First of all, my name is Walter. I'm a Columbia Business School graduate, and I really, I was talking about my team this morning, Rick, about the digital transformation and what that is really doing to businesses. In fact, I had the book right here, The Digital Transformation. This was one of our professors at school, and it's an incredible book. You guys should definitely read it because it's a game changer. They were predicting back in the days, back in the 90s, how even 2000s, how the digital transformation was changing the way businesses look for customers, did business, retain customers, and all of that. And COVID-19 just accelerated that to a pace that it's even difficult to keep up with. You mentioned it just before, like doing this Zoom meeting. We would have never done this, right? We would have been in the room with like a conference and a projector, and like the ones we used to do back in the days, you and me. And it's all about how fast can we adapt to the changes that are occurring. Because I tell people when we're prospecting on Binox, we're always tell people, look, if you guys are not looking at this, your competition is already thinking about this. And if you're not looking at data, which is the new gold, the way you should be looking at it, you're going to be left behind, right? So I see that, the overall assessment of businesses is the ones that are going to take and ride the wave of the new digital transformation are the ones that are going to do amazing stuff. Remember, we're in the third industrial revolution right now, and that's where big fortunes are made.
Wow. Yeah. So can you hold up that book again and just read the title and the author? I'm going to take a note here because if you say I have to read it, I have to read it. So it's Digital Transformation by Thomas Seibel. All right. That's great. Digital transformation. So along that digital transformation and Binox, can you tell us how do you see in this digital transformation, how are people connecting with prospects, clients, and colleagues in this new world?
I think about the sales process, Rick, that a lot has changed in the way it's delivered. In other words, we have LinkedIn, we have digital campaigns, outbound mail, email, all of that. But, when you look at the core of the sales process, it hasn't really changed. You still have to engage the customer in a proper way. You still have to discover wants and needs. You still have to present benefits and consequences, and you still have to close, right? But the way that's done today is different because of the digital transformation. You and I had a webinar recently where we were talking to hundreds of MSPs, managed service providers, about, guys, the handshaking thing is not occurring anymore, right? Like, you got to get going with the digital prospecting. And so I see that the connections we make are very similar in terms of Zoom, for example. I do all my meetings, you know, you and I used to drive the Long Island Expressway to go see one customer in the East End and then one in Queens and eating out of the car, like closing deals, right? And the most you and I could have seen in one day would be 2 people, right? I'm having 10 Zoom meetings or 15 sometimes, half-hour meetings with prospects that would have never spoken to me in the past. And so, but we're approaching them similarly, right? I did a LinkedIn, I gave away my LinkedIn step-by-step process on how I engage people in the previous webinar. And it was about, look, you still have to be kind, nice, and all of that to people. And that sells so hard right away, right? Because that's not how people buy today. And then the reverse of that is that the way people find you today, you either have the tools to know, like we had this tool inside of Binox called Website Reveal, which I think you use.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
you know, that tool, when I think about that tool, is like we all do marketing and we're looking for, but we never know if the customer is interested. And today's customer is going to look at 10 different Rick Mars HR companies in the area first. And if you're the one that knows that they are looking, which is what we call in our app intent data or intention to buy, then the engagement is different, right? Because you can now introduce yourself, put yourself in front of everybody digitally, by the way. So it's a different competition.
So let me ask a loaded question as a user of Binox. So let's talk about the website reveal, which I think is so important. So we've all spent tons of money on SEO marketing and this and that and the other thing, and many times those programs are not as successful as the money that is all spent to get it done. But as a Binox user, so I just want you to expand on this a little bit. The website reveal is almost like a jiu-jitsu move. We're using their strength against us. So as other companies are using their SEO marketing against us and other things, their intent when they purposefully click on our website for whatever reason, we now can see what that company was, and more importantly, all the contacts and their contact information within that to do a reverse marketing campaign, which we find so valuable. So can you just give a 30-second overview of what Binox is, what it's intended to do, and how companies are using it?
Yeah, let me show you a little bit if you can give me sharing access. But,
sure, absolutely.
You know, something I wanted to touch a little bit on what you just said, you know, jiu-jitsu moves. So think about SEOs, for example, right? Or Google AdWords. I'm not a big fan of it. And I'll tell you why. Because the new consumer, Rick, the new buyer is so smart, right? That they know that the first 10 results on the first page of Google are paid advertising, right? So they're going to go to the first guy on the bottom that's not paid. That guy has done so much SEO work that, you know, they're probably paying a guy $1,000 a week to keep up with that SEO because the next day somebody else is trying to get it. And it's just like a game they play. But let's say they do get that guy, right? Then there's 5 companies after the paid advertising that they can click on, right? I can guarantee you, my friend, that out of those 5 people, nobody knows who's visiting their website. And one of the many tools that Binox has is this web reveal thing where adding a little tracking code on your website, just on the header, 2 steps, you can actually see, like this Lighthouse agency, by the way, it's funny you said that because I'm not making this up. This just came in this morning. And Lighthouse is somebody who we market to. We actually sent a marketing campaign, an email campaign last week to them. And here's what happens. They click on my link and they go to one of my pages. In actuality, Binox tells you which page they went to. And so they clicked on it. And now I know that they clicked on it. Now I know they visited my website. So all I have to do is go to the contacts. And now I have 13 contacts that I can pick and choose the vice president here. And with one click of a button, I send it to my marketing campaign. I happen to use Infusionsoft, we use Marketo, HubSpot, you use Soho, any CRM. And so you can start that automated campaign introducing yourself to Mike. And now you're the only person that Mike knows about that has intention to buy from.
Yep. So I will tell you, and in purposes of time, and I thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
We're adding about 100 qualified leads to our Zoho, our marketing system, every single week just from that. So they get an email, or maybe they just came to our website because they saw a LinkedIn account, or they saw a post, or they saw me and Walter speaking on a Zoom YouTube channel. And it's truly amazing. So for companies that say, I can't find enough leads, Binox is the answer, right? So just, and from an expense standpoint, Binox is pennies compared to that SEO stuff that is generally a very hit or miss, in most cases miss. So I appreciate that. So Walter, just kind of the last question, I think it dovetails here. In next minute or two, if we can just keep the video about the right length.
Sure.
What do you see as the future of how people will conduct marketing, sales, and lead generation campaigns? And I know that sounds like a loaded question, and I hope you hit this one out of the park, and I know you will.
No, I love this one because you know what? Again, I'll go back to data, right? So a salesperson, when you and I were, hitting the phones and making calls and all of that, was making calls to people that you didn't really know if they were even interested, or maybe they weren't even part of your ideal client profile, right? They were not even your target. So today's data, I know, we were actually entering Florida as a territory for Motiva, our managed services company. And in those meetings, it's like having a superpower, man. It's just incredible because I feel like Superman, right? I go into these meetings and we can zoom into an area in Binox, pick and choose, just cherry pick who we want. Then look at the data, revenue, sizes, technographics, which is what technology they use, right? Keyword searching, like, what other businesses have they done in the past? Who do they serve? That kind of thing. And having that information, you and I back in the days had 3 different types of leads, like raw, qualified, all this nonsense. All of that is one sandwich now because you can qualify a lead so much faster. And you do this beautifully, by the way. You created an amazing system with Zoho that you helped. Thank you for helping our customers with that, by the way. And you just took that sandwich of all these 10 steps people used to have to just qualify a lead, put it into one step. So having that digital information, that data, it's, and by the way, Binox, like LinkedIn, who gives you LinkedIn? We give you LinkedIn. So now you can do LinkedIn campaigns. You can qualify. We get 10 leads a day from LinkedIn. People say, sure, I want to do a demo. And so having that data, my friend, it's the number one thing when it comes to how people engage.
That's amazing. So Walter, I mean, I know we could do this for hours and hours. So I totally appreciate what you're doing, how you're doing, your vision of business. We're in the 3rd industrial revolution, as you said, but I know you're already ready for the 4th one when it comes, and that's a true advantage. So, Walter, I'm just going to kind of read your website, your phone number, your email, and this way, if people want to get in touch with you. So for Binox, the website is Binox, Binox, MSP, as in Mary's Sally Peter. Right, .com, binoxmsp.com. Walter can be reached and his firm can be reached, which is truly amazing, at 212-845-9888, 212-845-9888. And Walter's personal email is walter@binoxmsp.com, walter@binoxmsp.com. So Walter, awesome. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your insight. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate your business acumen, and I appreciate everything that you do. So, Walter, I appreciate you. Thanks, brother. All right. Have a great day. All right. Talk to you later.